Thanks very much for joining us. As you can see from the images crossing your screen now, Mark Erelli has been curating the Second Shift music series for an absolutely wonderful 6 seasons, spring and fall, for the last 3 years. Unfortunately, the pandemic forced the cancellation of most of the 2020 spring season, but Mark rallied and pulled together a group of talented, gifted, and diverse musicians who've given us all a very compelling fall. And tonight, we're lucky enough to have Mark himself working the Second Shift. Again, thank you for joining us and for donating your crucial financial support. Enjoy the show.
Stranded on the outskirts of Columbus, Ohio, some motel next to a strip mall church with the neon burning cold. And it's raining soft and steady like it always does in movies. Now I'm good and drunk and ready, so let the credits roll. And when I was a young man, I never dreamed it wouldn't last. All I wanted was tomorrow. Now I'm haunted by the past. Don't know where I'm going, all I know is I ain't coming back. I've had enough of Columbus, Ohio. If I had a ticket, I would gladly take a bus up to Eau Claire. I'd head south to Cincinnati if I knew a soul down there. But there's no currency in Kerouac, at least not since the 60s. Lord, have pity on a vagabond whose sails have all gone slack. And when I was a young man, I never dreamed it wouldn't last. All I wanted was tomorrow. Now I'm haunted by the past. Don't know where I'm going. All I know is I ain't coming back. I've had enough of Columbus, Ohio. I've had enough of Columbus, Ohio. All right, welcome everybody. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We're here at the beautiful Charles River Museum in Waltham, Massachusetts. And it is a pleasure to be with you this evening. Y'all helped me pick the set list tonight. Every time you do a show, you know, you get excited about your new material. There's some songs you feel like that you always have to play. And sometimes, you know, if you're at this for a while, you just don't get to play all the songs you want to all the time. So I put out the call to you, great people of the internet, to tell me, you know, what songs have I not played in a while that you really love or you may want to hear again. And that's what tonight is going to be. And I had to do a little bit of homework to make it happen. But I'm really excited for this show. So thanks for being here with me. This is a song called Charlottesville. December came with her ice and snow, then she left me with nothing but my pride. She bent me down to the ground so low, like a birch by the highway side. January made me second guess, getting t-shirts and walking home from school was just a temporary thaw at best. Come February, I was still your fool. Somewhere down south, maybe Charlottesville, that's where I wanna go. Where the water tastes like wine and the climate suits my clothes. I'm going down that lonesome road to a town where nobody knows your name. April will come, oh I know she will, though some days I ain't so sure. With her green amnesia and her daffodils, there's nothing that she cannot cure. Somewhere down south, maybe Charlottesville, that's where I wanna go. Where the water tastes like wine and the climate suits my clothes. I'm going down that lonesome road to a town where nobody knows your name. So I wish you well, that probably don't seem like much, but we both know it's true. Of all the ways two people can fall out of love, honey, I never quit on you. No, I won't miss all this dirty snow, no, and these skies so gray. I'll pack the car and hit the pike tonight, find some place to sleep along the way. Somewhere down south, maybe Charlottesville, that's where I wanna go. Where the water tastes like wine and the climate suits my clothes. I'm going down that lonesome road to a town where nobody knows your name. Yeah. The wasp, she lays an egg 'neath the caterpillar's skin. It hatches and the larva grows, feasting from within. It kills its host and off it goes to sing another one. Seems to me there's too much misery to believe in kingdom come. Kingdom come, kingdom come. Seems to me there's too much misery to believe in kingdom come. Well, I have a secret guaranteed to make the theologians squirm. All it takes is time to make a man from the lowliest of worms. We are not the pinnacle, nobody's chosen ones. Can the minds of men be trusted with such things as kingdom come? Kingdom come, kingdom come. Can the minds of men be trusted with such things as kingdom come? Oh, once I had a daughter, and she died before her time. I sponged her fevered brow, cursed her bilious decline, and I feel her like a phantom limb, pins and needles numb. Friend, I cannot comprehend what makes you cling to kingdom come. Kingdom come, kingdom come. Oh, I cannot comprehend what makes you cling to kingdom come. Kingdom come, kingdom come. Seems to me there's too much misery. Can the minds of men be trusted? I cannot comprehend what makes you cling to kingdom come. I've known communion and conviction and the loneliness of doubt. Does the master mark the sparrows fall, or just let it all play out? If only for your sake, my love, I wish I could succumb, bridge the void and join you for eternity in your kingdom come. Kingdom come, kingdom come. Bridge the void and join you for eternity in kingdom come. Kingdom come, kingdom come. Bridge the void and join you for eternity in kingdom come. Kingdom come, kingdom come. Seems to me there's too much misery to believe in kingdom come. Kingdom come, kingdom come. Can the minds of men be trusted with such things as kingdom come? All right, Kingdom Come, a song about Charles Darwin there. It's I got to be honest, you know, if I were picking the set and making the set list, it'd be a little early for the song it'd be a little early in the set to bring out the songs about parasitic wasps and larvae being eaten from the inside out. But frankly, the other songs that you picked to fill out the rest of the set, those are also pretty sad and depressing as well. You guys have an interesting selection, and I needed to space out, at the very least I needed to space out the parasitic wasp song and the circus fire song. So I had to do one of them early, and I went with parasitic wasps because it just seems happier. All right, this is one for my friend Jim Kelly. He's a big supporter. He's always in the first row in the Boston shows when we can have a first row, and he always requests this song, and I'm rarely able to do it, I should say. So I'll send it out to him tonight. A song about Portland, Maine. It's called 5 Beer Moon. Thank God it's quitting time. Can't take no more of this weekday grind, but I ain't ready to head back home and watch TV. Guess I'll drive down to the pier, let the sun go down on a 6-pack of beer, stare out through my windshield at the sea. It's a gritty seacoast town where the water pounds the sand. I don't know why I'm so surprised. Things didn't work out like I planned. If I was a wave out on the ocean, if I was a wave out on the sea, free to go whichever way the wind was blowing, maybe was up on some farther shore where these blues can't follow me. Got a small apartment on Monjoy Hill. Didn't want too much space to fill. It's just a bed, a pull-out couch, and a kitchenette. Weekends my kid ain't sleeping over. There's just no point in trying to stay sober, 'cause there ain't no good example that I need to set. It's a gritty seacoast town where the winter never ends. Twice a day the tide goes out. Heaven knows why it never rolls back in. If I was a wave out on the ocean, if I was a wave out on the sea, free to go whichever way the wind was blowing, maybe was up on some farther shore where these blues can't follow me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Destiny, or just my mind playing tricks on me. It keeps me wanting something that's always just out of my reach. But I bet there's somebody somewhere else who somehow managed to convince himself that he'd be happier if he washed up on this beach. Oh, it's a gritty seacoast town, 5 beer moon shining down on me. I'll save the last one till I get back home. Oh God, I hope there ain't no reruns on TV. If I was a wave out on the ocean, if I was a wave out on the sea, free to go whichever way the wind was blowing, maybe was up on some farther shore where these blues can't follow me. They can't follow me. They sat in each end of the couch and watched as the fire burned down so quiet. On a winter night, not a porch light on for miles around. Then he said, I think I'll fill the stove. It's getting time for bed. She looked up, I think I'll have some wine. How about you, she asked, and he declined. Warren, she said, maybe just for tonight, let's fill the stove with birches and watch as the fire burns bright. How long has it been? I know it's quite a while. Pour yourself half a glass and stay with me a little while. But Warren, he shook his head as if she made some kind of joke. Birches on a winter night. No, we'll fill the stove with oak. Oak will burn as long and hot as a July afternoon, and birch will burn itself out by the rising of the moon. And you hate a cold house, same as me. Am I right or not? All right, that's true, she said. It was just a thought. And she said, Warren, you do look tired. Maybe you should go up to bed. I'll take care of the wood tonight. Oak, he told her. Oak, she said. As she listened to his footsteps, as he climbed up the stairs, and she pulled a sweater on her and set her wine glass on the chair. She walked down cellar to the wood box. It was as cold as an ice chest. Then climbed back up with 4 logs, each as white as a wedding dress. And she filled the stove and poured the wine and sat down on the floor. She curled her legs beneath her as the fire sprang to life once more, and it filled the room with its hungry light, and it cracked as it drew air, and the shadows danced a jittery waltz like no one else was there. And she stood up in the heat, and she twirled around the room, and the shadows, they saw nothing but a young girl on her honeymoon. And she knew the time, it would be short. Soon the fire would start to fade. She thought of heat, she thought of time, and she called it an even trade. That's a Bill Morrissey song called Birches. That's one of my favorite songs ever. And from one song that's ostensibly about trees to another song that's ostensibly about trees, but it's not really, neither of them are really about trees. This is a song about the woods behind my house growing up. There used to be a lot of them. It's kind of come back in recent years, but it's not the same. And this is the story of how it happened. And we go from birches to pines, and a song called Imaginary Wars. Behind the house where I lived back when I was a kid, I played G.I. Joe beneath the tall pine trees, and I'd fight imaginary wars till my mom called from our back porch, and I'd come home covered and that pine pitch from my head down to my knees. Too big to wrap my arms around, surely older than I could count. Must have been there since the Mayflowers crossed the sea. They've been through blizzards and hurricanes, summer droughts and freezing rain. Them pines would live forever, at least that's how it seemed to me. So watch me come of the old pine woods. It's all gone and there's a brand new neighborhood. All for a buck, they cut down all those trees. They subdivided all of my fondest memories. When those trucks came from my woods, I did everything I could. And the war was real when school let out that June. I ripped down flags and I pulled up stakes, but what difference can one boy make? Them pines still fell like thunder on a summer afternoon. So watch me come of the old pine woods. It's all gone and there's a brand new neighborhood. All for a buck, they cut down all those trees. They subdivided all of my fondest memories. And I never became friends with the families that moved in. They were different from us, or so it seemed. I grew up and moved away, and I just go home on holidays. But those tall and tangled pines, they're still falling in my dreams. Now we all want the greenest lawn and a country club where we belong, and an SUV to get us there in style. But we don't keep track of what we've lost. You can't calculate the cost when there's no place left for a boy's imagination to run wild. So watch me curl the old pine woods. It's all gone, and it's gone for good. All for a buck, they cut down all those trees. They subdivided all of my fondest memories. Oh, they subdivided all of my fondest memories. Big mandolin ending there. All right, thank you so much. Let's see here. This next song here is on the same record as Imaginary Wars. It came out in 2006, and it's a record called Hope and Other Casualties. And Came out during the Bush years, and it was right around the time of my life when my wife and I were kind of trying to decide whether we wanted to start a family, if it was time. And looking at the world around me, and you know, kind of wondering if I could bring another soul into it. So that record was really the first one where kind of the socially conscious stuff really kind of took a larger role in the songwriting. That said, this song has nothing to do with any of that. This is a song about a long drive home in inclement weather. It's called Snowden. The weatherman warned me, stay off the road tonight if you know what's best. The mercury is falling, there's a storm rolling in from the Midwest. He called for 2 feet of snow, so I turned off my radio. I'd heard enough. I'm gonna drive all night to be snowed in with the woman I love. 40 miles an hour from Connecticut to Maine. That's as fast as I could go, people. And the hazard lights are flashing, all the cars spun out by the side of the roads. They don't know how to drive in the snow. Now you might think I'm crazy, but if you ever met my baby, you know why I'm out here in this stuff. Well, I'm gonna drive all night to be snowed in with the woman I love. Yeah. Now when we wake up in the morning and they haven't cleared the streets and everyone is digging out after the storm, oh honey, call in sick instead and climb back into bed. I know a thing or two that's bound to keep us warm. Oh yes I do. I had a couple close calls, white knuckles on the wheel, and my nerves afraid. But she's gonna throw her arms around me and flash those baby blues, and all of my worries gonna melt away. And now I'm pulling in the drive. I should be glad to be alive, but she's all I'm thinking of. I drove all night. Yes, I drove all night. Yes, I drove all night to be snowed in with the woman I love. Woman I love. Snowed in. All right. Sounding good in this room. Here goes nothing. Just remember, you asked me to do this. My little sister makes more than you. My little sister makes more than you. Would you believe she's just 22? My little sister makes more than you. More than you at 22. My little sister. You know she's gonna be a millionaire. You know she's gonna be a millionaire. I pay my rent with a gig and a prayer. You know she's gonna be a millionaire. Millionaire, millionaire, my little sister. She called me up out of the blue. Said, big brother, have you heard the news? You know they hired me straight out of school. I'm gonna move away from home, get a place of my own, buy a new set of wheels just to see how it feels. Fancy food, expensive wine, pay vacation on company time. My little sister makes more than you. My little sister makes more than you. What is this crazy world coming to? My little sister makes more than you. More than you. And you and you and you and you. My little sister. Oh, 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 oh. My little sister makes more than you. My little sister makes more than you. My little sister makes more. Sister makes more than you, more than you, more than you, my little sister, little sister. Little Sister, a song of the 90s. Although I guess now things being what they are now she probably officially makes more than me. Speaking of which, we should mention that the show tonight, of course, you're free to tune in, and we're glad that you're tuning in. But if you can donate, there's a suggested donation. Anything you got helps. The suggested donation is not a ceiling. If you want to give more than that, you can give more. And if you can't give that much, you can give less. It's really, the money gets split evenly between myself and the museum, independent arts organizations, and independent artists. It's a tough time right now, if you hadn't heard. And we sure could use the help. And there's nothing that we'd like better than to open our doors and to get back out on the road and get into your neighborhoods and have you come visit the museum here, which you really should do when we are able to safely do such things again. But in the meantime, we need to be able to continue to do our jobs and to weather this period, and we don't know how long it's going to last. So anything you can do to help out would be greatly appreciated. And who knows, if you give enough, maybe you'll help me get the edge over my little sister again. And I can write a new song. All right. This, I did a record of Western swing, original Western swing music in 2004. Why? Because I felt like it. That's the only reason you need. had a great band here in the Boston area called the Spurs that backed me up on it. But like a lot of good country records, we ended with kind of a stripped-down kind of acoustic gospel number. And I wrote this song for my friend Dave Carter, who is a wonderful singer-songwriter, an amazing artist, and a really beautiful and gentle human being. And we lost him too soon. And in a year with so much loss, I figured this would be a good one to put on the set list. And I wasn't surprised when I saw so many people requesting it. So we'll send this out to you if you need it, and I'll sing it for Dave tonight. It's called Pilgrim Highway. I'm going down that Pilgrim Highway, though none can say for certain where it leads. I believe someday I'll reach a place where all my burdens shall be released. So often tested through toil and trial, onward from the moments we are born, we must be steadfast through every darkened mile, traveling toward that everlasting morn. So take my hand, brother, take my hand, sister, in each other we must confide. Many miles to cover before we are delivered down that Pilgrim Highway, side by side. Though some we love may by the wayside fall, we shall never feel abandoned or alone. There'll be a glorious reunion with them all, just beyond that last bend in the road. So take my hand, brother, take my hand, sister, in each other we must confide. Many miles to cover before we are delivered down that Pilgrim Highway, side by side. So take my hand, brother, take my hand, sister, in each other we must confide. Many miles to cover before we are delivered down that Pilgrim Highway, side by side. Down that Pilgrim Highway, side by side. Pilgrim Highway. All right. Well, I got a few more for you here. A few more that you that were among the clear winners that you picked for me to play tonight. And this one here, I don't play this song very often, mainly just because I'm not, I don't want to bum people out. It's a song about a circus fire. It's a song about something that actually happened here in New England back in 1944. I read this wonderful book. I used to haunt, back when you could go to bookstores, I used to haunt bookstores and look in the New England section, books about New England, and look for kind of interesting, quirky, kind of harrowing stories from New England history. And this one really, really jumped out at me. This book by Stuart Onan, and it's about the Hartford Circus fire and a true event. They used to waterproof the big top tents with this mixture of paraffin and oil, which made them really waterproof and also incredibly flammable. And the unthinkable happened one day in Hartford, Connecticut, and the tradition of kind of a great tradition of disaster songs. People like Woody Guthrie sang disaster songs. I thought I'd try my hand at one of them, and you guys wanted to hear it, so here we go. A song called Hartford Town, 1944. 2, 3. It was a dry and dusty summer day when that wagon train pulled in. Just 3 hours till the matinee was scheduled to begin. As the Razorbacks unloaded the flats, a crowd had gathered to see. The elephants towed the wagons back to that empty lot on Barber Street. The canvas man, they dug right in, till on that spot where nothing had been. You could see the big top from miles around when the circus came to Hartford Town. The circus, it was front page news back in 1944. Everyone was grateful for any excuse to forget about the war. The sun beat down on the menagerie, in the cages the animals paced. There was orangeade and cotton candy and a smile on every kid's face. And each mother and father, each boy and girl, they couldn't wait to see the greatest show in the world. You could barely hear the orchestra, they cheered so loud when the circus came to Hartford Town. There were polar bears and panther cats with great big fangs and claws. And the lions did a balancing act to jubilant applause. Then a spotlight played on a platform set so high up in the air that everybody held their breath and they prayed a silent prayer. And all eyes were glued to the man on the wire, so nobody knew when the tent caught fire. Too slowly it dawned on the sold-out crowd when the circus came to Hartford Town. The fire drew air and began to climb, and the audience leapt from their seats. There was a stampede for the exit signs, and some faded from the heat. There were heroes who did their best to help the children escape the flames, and the others, they managed to save themselves. They survived but were never the same. And some still remember how the animals cried, but there weren't any animals inside. Just 100 people trapped as the tent burned down when the circus came to Hartford Town. Harbor Street, 4 blocks from the circus show. And I begged my parents, I got down on my knees, but they would not let me go. For they had grounded me 2 weeks straight. Now I can't even remember why, but I know the first time that I ever prayed was when I saw that black smoke in the sky. And the war, it was over in a year, I guess, but the people in my town didn't cheer like the rest. Yes, it breaks our hearts to remember now when the circus came to Hartford Town. Yeah. Hartford Town. Thanks for requesting that one. I know I gave you a little bit of grief there in the introduction, but that's not one I get to play very often. Really, I could say that about all the songs tonight, these last two in particular. It was hard to kind of craft a set here that kind of had a nice flow to it. I kind of ended up with a couple ballads at the end here, but I figure, give the people what you want. So we're just gonna do 2 ballads at the end. Really, a ballad and an anthem. So they're not the same thing. I think you can, technically in show business, you can get away with that. This is the ballad. And make sure this is in tune. This is a bit of a topical song, but it never seems to get completely irrelevant. In fact, it stays pretty pertinent. It's called Hope Dies Last. The alarm goes off and you hit the shower first. I make the coffee, it's a routine we've rehearsed. I turn the radio on and they're wishing us a happy new year. But nothing much has changed here. Another suicide bomb at a market in the Middle East. And the authorities estimate 28 dead at least. Sand soaked with martyrs' blood and mothers' tears. But nothing much has changed here. The whole country's holding those coal miners in its prayers, counting down how long they've gone without air. The reporter does her best to sound sincere. Oh, nothing much has changed here. Now there's a man of God saying something about New Orleans, how the Mississippi River gonna wash them sinners clean. All the righteous pray on ignorance and fear. Oh, nothing much has changed here. And there's a storm coming up fast. Better lash yourself to the mast. But of all that comes to pass, hope dies last. Politicians pointing fingers, that's all they ever do. Even when there's so much looming larger in the rear view. Till elections may be closer than they appear. Oh, nothing much has changed here. And in the eyes of the president, citizens are enemies. So he surrounds himself with sycophants and thieves. And they only tell him what he wants to hear. Oh, nothing much has changed here. And there's a storm coming up fast. Better last yourself to the mast. But of all that comes to pass, hope dies last. Sometimes it's all that you can do to avert your eyes. If you let too much in, it'll leave you paralyzed. It's a world where all you love could disappear. So I take you in my arms before you leave for work. Yeah, I got a love for you so fierce and so true it hurts. And you smile at something that I whisper in your ear. Nothing much has changed, baby, nothing much has changed. And nothing's ever gonna change. Thank you so much. It's a real privilege to find some avenue to still keep doing this during this time. One of the hardest things of this whole thing is that there's a lot of people hurting, and both health-wise and just spiritually and emotionally, and music and the arts are such a big part of helping with that. And it's hard sometimes to know how to be of service. And doing things like this, it's not the same as live music, but it's what we can do right now, and it's my way to kind of give a little bit back and to be of service. And hopefully this has helped you tonight, at least a little bit as much as it's helped me. I always feel better when I sing. As I always say, you can't really sing with any hate in your heart. You can only sing from a place of love. And so if nothing else, you've given me a chance to kind of dwell in that space for an hour or so tonight. And I truly appreciate it. I'm so grateful to all the folks here at the Charles River Museum. I curate this second shift series, and I know that it looks like I booked myself. But back when we were thinking about doing this, I wasn't really sure how safe we could make something like this, the whole experience of performing and being inside. And so I said I would do this series just to demonstrate to people that I wouldn't ask anyone to do something that I wouldn't do myself. And I've had to watch, the first 3 or 4 shows online with jealousy. Everyone looks like they're having so much fun, and the audio and the video looks so great. I've been waiting just with bated breath to come here and to be a part of this. And I want to thank everybody here for doing such an amazing job. Bob Perry, the director of the museum, Joe and Anna, Andy and Steve. We got some camera people here tonight, Mike, and I didn't get your name beforehand, but I will thank you personally after. Thank you so much for donating tonight. Again, there should be a link on the screen, and maybe you already have, and we appreciate that. And we're going to take that money and use it to keep on with our mission here, and to kind of keep the art coming, keep the culture coming, and until we can all be together again in person. I'll leave you with this song here, and we got one more show in this virtual series, and we got to figure out what comes after that. But tune back in after Thanksgiving on December 3rd for Lisa Amador is closing out our kind of virtual second shift series, the first virtual second shift series, and hopefully we can do more. And I'll leave you with this song here. It's called Northern Star. Across the mile that lie between the lives we live and the lives we dream, full moon shines down, so blue and bright, smiling down on both of us tonight. I see your face and I hear your voice. I heed the call. I have no choice. I'm the Northern Star. You're the Southern Cross. And we are never alone. Look for me if you get lost. I will shine you home. I will shine you home. There was a time not long ago when I would have run as fast and far as I could go. But I won't be afraid this time around. There's too much at stake to turn back now. I'm the Northern Star. You're the Southern Cross. And we are never alone. Look for me if you get lost. I will shine you home. I will shine